All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling uh, something pretty basic, I think you'd agree,
Yeah.
but it's something that most of us use every single day,
Yeah.
and that is the notebook.
Yeah, notebooks, those trusty companions.
Exactly. But we're not just talking about, any old notebook. We're
Yeah.
diving deep
Into the specifics.
into the world of lined, blank, dotted, and grid notebooks.
All the variations.
Yeah, our goal here is to help you figure out
Uh-huh.
which one's actually the best for you.
Yeah, because it really does make a difference.
It does, depending on what you're doing, whether it's for work or school
Or,
or just personal stuff.
mm-hmm.
So have you ever just stood in the notebook aisle
Oh, yeah.
and been totally overwhelmed? Like, wait, what are all these options?
So many choices.
Yeah, or maybe you're just using the same one you've always used
Out of habit.
without really thinking if it's actually the best fit.
Right, right. Well, we're here to break it all down for you.
So let's start with the classic, the one that probably most of us grew up with,
The OG.
the lined notebook.
Yeah, the lined notebook. I mean, it's everywhere for a reason.
Yeah, those horizontal lines, they're all about keeping things neat and tidy.
Structure, organization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And our sources really highlight that.
Mhm.
They say that the lined notebook is the ultimate tool for note-taking in class,
Oh, for sure.
for professionals who need to write reports.
Yeah.
Anyone who makes to-do lists,
Mm.
even for writing letters or drafting things out, those lines just really help you think in a straight line,
They do. They guide your thoughts in a way.
especially in those more formal settings like work or school.
Absolutely. You need your notes to be legible, to be professional,
Right.
and lines help with that consistency.
Yeah, and you can find them everywhere.
Literally everywhere. Every size, every color.
So convenient. But of course, there are downsides too.
There are always trade-offs.
Right, like if you're someone who likes to sketch or be really creative,
Yeah, if you're more visual.
those lines can start to feel a little constricting.
A bit like a cage, almost.
Yeah, like boundaries you don't want.
Exactly. So lined notebooks are great for structure and order, but not so much for free-flowing creativity.
Exactly. So if you need that organization, especially in a formal context, lined notebooks are your friend.
You're a reliable buddy.
But now let's go to the complete opposite end of the spectrum,
Okay, I'm intrigued.
the blank notebook.
Ah, the blank slate.
Total freedom. No lines, no dots, no nothing.
Just pure possibility.
It's like a fresh canvas for your thoughts.
And that's exactly why our sources say it's so popular with artists and designers.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, anyone who thinks visually,
You could sketch, you could doodle, brainstorm, journal.
it's all about expressing yourself without limits.
And the pros are pretty clear, right?
Yeah.
Unlimited creativity, total flexibility.
You're not bound by any predetermined structure.
It's just you and the page.
It's interesting, because with the lined notebook, the lines kind of dictate how you use the space. But with a blank notebook, you get to decide.
You create the structure
Yeah.
if you want one.
Exactly. It's a different kind of interaction.
But that lack of structure can also be a challenge for some people.
Oh, absolutely.
If you really like things to be neat and organized,
Mm-hmm.
a blank notebook might not be the best fit.
And for those of us with messy handwriting,
Oh, yeah.
it can be a struggle to keep things legible.
Right. You have to put in a bit more effort to make it work.
So the key takeaway here is if you're all about freedom and flexibility,
If you love to visualize your ideas,
the blank notebook is your playground,
it's all about letting your thoughts flow freely.
unleashing that creative energy.
All right, so we've talked about structure with lines, freedom with blank.
Right.
What about something in between?
Ah, the compromise.
Exactly. And that brings us to the dotted notebook.
The dot grid, a happy medium.
These have gotten really popular lately.
They have. People seem to really like that balance.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
Our sources describe them as having these light, subtle dots.
Almost invisible, but they're there.
Yeah, arranged in a grid pattern.
Providing a framework without being too intrusive,
Exactly. So you get that structure.
but without the rigidity of lines.
So it's perfect for bullet journaling.
Oh, yeah. Bullet journaling is huge with dotted notebooks.
You can make calendars, trackers, to-do lists.
Even draw diagrams or mind maps.
And it's great for those minimalist designs that are so popular online.
It's all about clean aesthetics,
Right. The dots are there if you need them.
but they don't overpower the page.
And you can write in straight lines if you want, or just ignore them completely.
That adaptability is what makes them so appealing.
Yeah, you get the best of both worlds.
Structure and freedom.
Our sources really emphasize that versatility.
Mm-hmm.
But are there any downsides to the dotted notebook?
Well, some people find the dots distracting.
Really?
Yeah, even though they're subtle, They can be a bit much for some.
I guess it depends on your preference.
It does. And also, if you have large handwriting,
Yeah.
the dots might feel too close together.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it's something to keep in mind.
And our sources also mention that it can take a little time to get used to the dot grid.
Yeah, if you're coming from lines, it's a different way of thinking about the page.
So for those of you who are looking for that balance between structure and freedom,
Especially if you're into bullet journaling or need a flexible system.
the dotted notebook might be the perfect choice.
It's about having that subtle guidance without feeling restricted.
All right, so we've covered lined, blank, and dotted.
What's left?
The final frontier, the grid notebook.
The realm of precision.
Exactly. This is where things get serious.
Think architects, engineers, designers.
Anyone who needs absolute accuracy.
Precise measurements, detailed diagrams.
Even math problems, apparently.
Makes sense.
Our sources describe it as having these evenly spaced vertical and horizontal lines.
Forming that classic grid pattern.
Right. You look at it and you immediately think technical drawings, blueprints.
Yeah, it's very purpose-built.
And the advantages are obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect for technical drawing, keeping everything aligned.
You can create charts, graphs, tables.
It's all about visual organization.
It's not really about spontaneity.
No, it's about planning and precision.
Everything has its place.
But, like with all the others, there are downsides.
There are.
If you're a creative writer or someone who likes to journal freely,
Yeah, free-flowing thoughts.
that grid might feel a bit stifling.
Too rigid, too structured.
So it really depends on what you need the notebook for.
That's the key takeaway.
If you're in a technical field, you need that level of precision.
The grid notebook is your best friend.
It's all about clarity and accuracy.
Visual organization at its finest.
So we've explored all 4 types of notebooks.
Lined, blank, dotted, and grid.
But how do you choose the right one for you?
Right, how do you apply all this information?
Well, our sources emphasize that it all comes down to your individual needs.
Your workflow, your style.
Exactly. Think about what you'll be using the notebook for.
Are you a student? A professional? An artist?
What kind of tasks do you do on a daily basis?
Do you need to take detailed notes? Or sketch out ideas?
And if you're running a business,
Mm-hmm.
it's also important to consider offering a variety of notebooks.
Yeah, because everyone has different preferences.
Some people thrive on structure, others need that freedom.
By offering options, you can cater to everyone's needs.
So, to quickly recap our deep dive,
Our notebook adventure.
lined notebooks, classic structure,
That's familiar, friend.
blank notebooks, pure creative freedom,
The blank canvas.
dotted notebooks,
Huh.
that balance between the two,
Your best of both worlds.
and grid notebooks, precision and accuracy.
The technical powerhouse.
So there you have it, the world of notebooks in a nutshell.
A comprehensive overview.
And here's a final thought for you to consider.
Okay, I'm listening.
Choosing the right notebook isn't just about picking a pretty cover.
Right.
It's about finding a tool that actually supports your work and your thinking.
It can make a real difference.
So what kind of notebook will you reach for next?
Now that you know the options,
It's more than just paper. It's potential.
waiting to be unlocked.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.